Good afternoon. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mike Vanaria. Mario and I have been best friends for over 41 years. I'd like to tell you something about Mario that you don't know, but the fact all of you are here, it's obvious that you do. Mario is amazing. When he first moved to Waltham and we went to Fitzgerald together, we hit it off right away. We used to draw war pictures at indoor recess. He would show me how to draw all the different tanks, depending on which enemy we were facing that day. We would play street hockey every day after school for hours with the gang. Chris, Paulie, Paul B., Sean, and many others. I even remember we wanted to play once after a snowstorm, but the tennis courts were covered in snow. Somehow we managed to get one of my father's smaller pickup trucks through the gates to clear them off. The game must go on after all. Mario was more than a friend. He was a brother. He was a member of my family, and I a member of his. In high school, Mario and I worked for my father's business. Every day brought a kind of humor to the site that made the day go by. Whether it was picking me up and dropping me in a hole we just dug, or spending the entire day talking in a Scottish accent. I know all of you have heard of Scottish accent. My family didn't vacation much when I was a kid, but when we did, Mario came with us. The two of us spent a week in New Hampshire near Lake Winnipesaukee trying to buy 24 Ellsmere, please, and convince everyone we were from Waltham, Ontario, eh? And yes, this was shortly after we watched Strange Brew together. After high school, Mario went to Framingham State, where he just happened to be walking by as my brother-in-law proposed to my sister on their favorite bench on campus. He was the first to know about the engagement, and when my sister got home to show us the ring, she said, "Oh yeah, and Mario was there." We all got a kick out of that. Of course he was there. A few years later, my sister Deb passed away. As you can imagine, much like this, it was a terrible day for my family, Mario included. We tasked Mario to be one of my sister's pallbearers and stood by my family the entire day. He was family. When I asked Mario to be in my wedding, of course he said yes. Since my sister's passing, we had an extra groomsman. Kathy was kind enough to join Mario on the dance floor for our wedding party's first dance. And if you haven't seen it, this is by far my favorite picture of the two of them. It's up in the hallway. Awesome. Throughout our lives together, I watched Mario's love for music grow. He taught himself to play the guitar, then he joined a band in high school. Then he started going to shows and meeting tons of new people. I've met a lot of those cool people over the years, Pat, Jonah, John, and most recently Barry. I've enjoyed hearing their stories about Mario and sharing mine with them, like when I would take my dinner break on the evening shift and go to the rehearsal room that used to be on Wareham Street in the South End and listen to his band jam, praying my dispatcher wasn't trying to call me on the radio. Well, the stories changed. The fact that Mario had been a great friend to everyone didn't. After Mario was diagnosed, I would go over and visit, and we would watch some crazy cooking shows where he would ask me, "Have you ever had camel?" When I said, "No," he would say, "Oh man, you don't know what you're missing." He was also excited to share his favorite movies with me, Wild Geese being at the top of his list. That painting's in the other room too. Over time, I watched this vile disease take my best friend's livelihood, and I watched him grow weak and frail. Through it all, he never gave up. He fought hard like a true warrior, like a Viking. I took him to one of his treatments, and I was grateful to spend the time with him. We talked in the car about the Bruins and what they needed to do in the off-season. And sometimes it was slow in the day shift, so I'd pop over to St. E's and see him before he went into his appointments, hold his hand and offer some encouragement. Then on Thursday, August 4th at 9:30, I got a text from Paul that simply said he's gone, and then another said to come to the house and say goodbye. I don't remember putting on my sneakers or leaving the house, and I know the steering wheel in my car took the brunt of my sadness with me, but within minutes I was there. Hugh was the first person I saw, and after a quick hug, he pointed me toward the front yard where everyone had gathered. Through my tears, I saw his mom and dad. There are no words that I could say that could take away the pain of losing their child, so we just hugged and cried. Then I saw Kathy, the second warrior in this story, who was holding it together better than I was. We also hugged and cried. Then I saw the best brother in the world, Paul, and yes, we hugged and cried too. He brought me in to see Mario, where I got to say goodbye to my best friend, the warrior, who fought bravely and valiantly. I told him I'd love him, I loved him, and I'd see him on the other side to save me a seat. The rest of the day was kind of a blur. People came and went as we all stayed around trying to comfort each other. But it was later in the day, sitting out back with Big Paul and Q and Tad, when the topic of Mario's service came up. Big Paul said, "We would need a big place to hold it." And I quote, "I'm not saying this because he's my son, but because everyone loved Mario. A lot of people are gonna attend." And I looked at Q and then I had to stop him right there. I said, "It is because he was your son that he has so many friends and that so many people love him. It is because the way you and Mrs. T raised him, and the way you raised so many others too, me included. I truly consider myself one of the lucky ones to say you are my second family, and I feel honored when you call me one of your sons." In closing, one day when we were in our 20s, Mario asked me for a ride. He said he had a date with this chick that was awesome. When I met Kathy, I knew why he thought so. She was beautiful, confident, and funny, and she loved him and cared for him from the day she met him. Kathy, thank you for being Mario's everything and sharing him with all of us. Mario, I love you and miss you, bro. You will live on in our hearts and memories. Thank you.
Amazing.
Hi.